help you find what you need in home, commercial property, or land. Free gas, country water, outbuildings, 2 rentals, a house, and a mobile home, along with an 8-room remodeled farmhouse. 5-bay garage with 2 offices and a bath make this property a great buy on 172 acres located in Center Township. This one won't last long. On the corner of State Route 78 and Barney Ridge, this 2-story house is on 70 acres with a barn and other outbuildings. Call Swiss Lands Realty at 472-0614.
Hello and welcome to Coach's Corner with Jay. Win number 150, Coach, congratulations. Coach, we go from tremendous defensive effort one week against Shadyside to a superb offensive output this past week against Paden City. You surely had to be pleased with the offensive effort this week.
We were pleased, Jeff, with the offensive effort. In fact, that's what we were looking for, to get the offense in gear, get more points on the board, but at the same time, we played good defense and, again, registered another shutout. So if we can keep that balance going, good, solid defense, and score points, especially against good football teams, that's what we're looking for in the future.
Coach, you took on a 2-0 Paden City football team, totally dismantled them. It was 28-0 by the half. The past few years, they've been kind of a down team. They've just won a couple of games each year the past few years, but they've been a problem for us. We seem to have had a hard time handling in the last few years, but Friday night we really did a job on them. What happened?
Well, first of all, Paden City in years past has had a lot of tradition. They've had a lot of excellent football teams, in the playoffs several times. But they've struggled somewhat because they've been down in numbers over the past several years here recently. But I feel their program is coming back. They're a much improved team this year over last year. They're just fighting the numbers game in terms of having enough people both offensively and defensively. They do have some skilled people, but I think they're going to continue to improve. But it was a little easier than I thought. I didn't expect it to be maybe that widespread that early, but we're pleased that it did happen.
Coach, you mentioned the defensive effort this past week, and it was a tremendous defensive effort. And I heard the comment made that even though we had the big lead, there was a lot of hitting going on. For 3 weeks in a row, our defense has really been popping. And then we've got the offense in gear, it seems like now. Things are starting to come together for you. Do you see yourself getting better each week?
I do. In fact, I look back to the preseason, our scrimmage and preview, I wasn't satisfied at all, and I think I mentioned that earlier about our progress, but I have seen progress from the preseason to the first game to the second game in this past week against Paden City. If we can continue to do that, then I think we're going to be the type of football team we want to be. We're not there yet. We need much more improvement in a lot of areas, and if I have to single one area out, it definitely has to be offense, and I think the real test is going to be if we can establish a consistent offense, again, against good football teams. That's going to mean the difference.
Coach, we normally tape the show on Tuesday evenings, but we're here on a Thursday morning taping it so that it can be put out on the air Thursday evening here. There's been a lot going on this week in regard to the teachers' strike. On Monday and Tuesday, you weren't at practice, and the teachers voted, and you went to practice last night on Wednesday, and you're going to be on the sidelines Friday. But could you elaborate a little bit for us on the situation?
Well, Jeff, you're right. There have been a lot of distractions, and we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, and the fact that we're concerned about the young men keeping their mind on the task at hand. And they did a good job of that in the past, and I'm confident they'll do a good job of that in the future. And the fact that they've been real good concentrating on preparing for our game the upcoming week. And our main concern, of course, this week is Caldwell. There have been a lot of things happening, and no one really likes those things to happen. We would like to get these young people back in school and get their mind back on their education. There's a lot of things that we hope will happen, and one of them is we hope that both sides will get back to the bargaining table as soon as possible and bargain until a resolved issue can be attained, and that's the most important thing because that's the only thing that's going to put these young people back in school where they belong. We are very concerned about this matter. The teachers did have a meeting Wednesday morning at length, and came out of that meeting 100% united, and the wishes of the body was to allow all extracurricular activities to resume as usual with all coaches and all activity head people in charge to take over those activities again. And so that will be the case. As you mentioned, I was not at practice on Monday or Tuesday, and so, but our kids did practice, and so we will be back, all the coaches will be back with the team on Friday, and we just hope that we can get things back together here. But more importantly than the upcoming game Friday is the fact that we do get these people back, and I urge anyone who can do anything to encourage this type of bargaining by both parties to get back and get it resolved. This is what's important, to put these young people back in school.
Okay, Coach, I'd just like to add to that. You know, a lot of times when a solution comes to a problem, we tend to just think, well, it's taking care of itself and it's over with and what have you. And we're not trying to put athletics in front of education, you know, by no means. But at the same time, extracurriculars are important. If they weren't important, they wouldn't be part of school. You know, they help to prepare young men and young women to work together toward a common goal, and it's the same way in the workplace. Whether you work at the plants or the coal mines or what have you, you have to work with one another. So they are important. But I just want to add that this is just a temporary solution here. Things are still pretty serious. If things aren't worked out in the next 10 days, everything could be over, right?
That's exactly true, Jeff, and you're right. Extracurricular activities are a very, very important part of a young man or young woman's total education. We feel they learn very valuable lessons from those things that take place within those activities, no matter what they be, not necessarily football, but all activities. And you're also correct that this is not a permanent solution to this particular problem. And I want everyone to understand, because I did talk with our young men at great length Wednesday after the meeting, and I want everyone to understand that this is only for this week and next week as far as all extracurricular activities are concerned. If this situation is not resolved and we do not get these young people back in school, then all activities, and I repeat, all activities will cease as of October the 4th. So I don't want anyone thinking that it's final, it's resolved. It's not. We all, and I again repeat all, have to work together. Parents, teachers, coaches, students, everyone in all of our communities have to work together to get these two people back to the bargaining table so that we can get this matter resolved once and for all and get these young people back in school where they belong.
Coach, you mentioned that your team seems to have handled it pretty well. Has it affected them at all?
I really don't. Well, I shouldn't say it hasn't affected them, but to a large degree I don't think so, Jeff, because they're one of the nicest groups of young men that I've had the opportunity to work with, and the fact that they're, I think, keeping everything pretty much in perspective, and I've tried to take that off of them and telling them that their job is to concentrate on what they have to do and let us worry about the other things. And I'd probably have to say I'd be probably lying if I didn't. The fact that it's been definitely more distracting for me and the other coaches on the staff than it has been for the team members. But I feel these young men are pulling together. In fact, if anything, they're probably uniting together more as a team than even before.
Well, good. Again, we're not asking anyone to take sides in this issue. You know, whether who's right and who's wrong, but as the community, fans, or parents, we really need to pursue talking to both people, the teachers and the school board, and insist they get back to the bargaining table and negotiate. Part of negotiations is giving and taking. You know, you just can't stand firm on any one issue. You know, both sides have to give and take. So do what you can in the next week or so and really encourage these people to negotiate. We'll be right back with this week's guests, Chris Wynn and Luke Shoemaker.
Masters Garage has recently added a new service to their long list of automotive repairs. They're now rebuilding starters, alternators, and generators. And remember, they specialize in custom exhaust work with the Ben Pearson Muffler Shop, as well as brake work, lead jobs, and oil changes. Masters features a full line of Quaker State products, including oil, filters, lube products, and parts to keep your vehicle in top running condition. Call Masters Garage today at 472-1232.
We're here with Chris Lynn. Chris, congratulations on a fine game. Led the team in tackles this week, had 10 tackles, 2 CBLs, scored a touchdown, caught a nice pass reception, had an overall great game. Chris, you've been moved in positions on defense this year from cornerback to monster. How do you like playing that position?
I enjoy playing monster better, a lot better. You don't have as much responsibility as deep pass. Takes a lot of pressure off of you. I think you learn to enjoy the game a little bit more, playing strong safety. And it's just all around better place to get in a little bit more action.
A little more action. Yeah, that was evident with leading the team in tackles Friday. Chris, you're a senior. You've been a 3-year starter, and you played on 2 great teams in the past couple of years. Can this team be a great one?
I think we can. Just need to stay together, work hard, block the strike situation out of our minds, just concentrate on football and our school, and I think we'll do all right.
Chris, this is your senior year, and you just mentioned the strike. But is it a concern at all to you and the other seniors on the team?
Well, academically, it's a big concern, especially for seniors. It really interrupts their life, and if it's not resolved too quickly, then it could mean some drastic things for graduating seniors. But athletically, it does. Just in the back of your mind, you never know when your last game's going to be. So you just got to play everyone like it is your last, and just hope for the best.
Okay. I guess maybe that could be some of the incentives that Coach was talking about. You guys pulling together. You start playing every game like it's your last. We don't have to worry about you guys being flat, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts this week on Caldwell?
They're probably the best 1-2 football team around, definitely. A lot of preseason things that they were going to be really good, and doing 1-2 doesn't mean that they're not good. So they have a nice passing game. They pass a lot of stuff underneath, and in the past, even this year, so far, teams haven't beat us really that deep. It's a deep passing game, but it's the underneath stuff that really hurt us all season long. That seems to what they do the most. So we really need to step things up and take care of that kind of thing.
Okay. Coach, your comments?
You talked earlier about Chris's past week game on defense, and this is the one thing that really stood out about Chris. I remember back in his freshman year, when in one of our opening scrimmages, he displayed to the coaching staff that even though he's not a big football player as far as size is concerned, that his heart's real big, and he comes to play, and he was always very aggressive, even though he wasn't real big, and he'd come up and hit you, and this is what he's done, and he had a great game this past week on defense, and as he mentioned, we did make a change in moving from the corner position to the strong safety or monster position. And he's done a real good job adjusting to that position, and I think he'll just continue to get better as the season progresses. And on offense, Chris doesn't get a lot of opportunities to carry the football, but when he does, he usually makes them count. As you mentioned, he came up with a big pass reception for us and took one in for a touchdown this past Friday night. And that gives us, about 4 dimensions in the backfield that we can run or pass with our quarterback, and we have 2 other very capable runners. That gives us 3 that they can't key on any one particular one. So we're real pleased and just hoping that Chris will cap off what's been a good career thus far with a great senior year.
Chris, thanks for coming on the show. Good luck Friday night.
Amen.
We'll be right back with Luke Shoemaker.
The F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency was established in 1903. They have 3 agents and 3 customer service representatives to give you the kind of service you deserve. Being an independent insurance agency means they represent different companies, allowing them to compare for you. For all of your insurance needs, auto, home, life, bonds, business, or farms, contact F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency at 472-0876.
We're here with Luke Shoemaker. Luke had another good game, had 101 yards rushing, touchdown, interception, 2 CBLs on both sides of the ball. You've done a great job. Luke, you're just a sophomore, still very young to be starting at the varsity level, but at Woodsfield, our sophomores have to play, and freshmen sometimes. You started last year as a freshman. Is there less pressure on you this year because you're a sophomore, or is there more pressure because being a sophomore you think maybe there's more expected out of you?
Well, I think I feel less pressure this year because last year being my first season to start varsity, I think I feel less pressure, but there's still added pressure each week with our team improving every week. But once you get the gear on, I think all that pressure dwindles away.
Okay. First hit and it goes away, right?
That's right.
Were you surprised? You know, we handled Paden City pretty easy. They're 2-0 football team. Were you surprised we handled them so easy?
Well, in a way I was. I knew we were coming out pretty pumped up and everything. I knew we'd fly our bus to our top, and things came together, and we ended up on top that big.
Yeah. You start on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. You prefer fullback or linebacker better?
Well, I really don't prefer either. I like to touch the ball on offense. Whenever, and on defense I like to hit, so there's really no favorite in my part.
Just play, right?
That's right.
Caldwell's 1-2, and you just alluded to the fact that you guys came out pumped up. You guys were pumped up the first game against Bishop Donahue, and that was evident with the score. You were pumped up against Shadyside. It was a big game. If you weren't pumped up, probably wouldn't have come out on top in that one. I feel you were pumped up at Paden City, and you just kind of confirmed that. Here you go against Caldwell, their 1-2 football team. A lot of times you look for letdowns after being up so many weeks in a row, but at the same time, that's deceiving. Caldwell, they're a good football team. Their record just doesn't prove what they've got. How do we avoid a letdown this week?
Well, we'll look to it as another big game on our schedule. We're coming back. Last year they beat us and held us from our playoff berth or anything like that, and we're out to beat them this year at their place. So we'll be pretty emotionally set.
So the motivation is they beat you last year regardless of what their record is, right? That's good. Coach, your comment?
Well, you know the situation. Last year, Luke came in about mid-season offensively and made the switch from tight end to the backfield, fullback, and did an outstanding job, and he's done that same this year. And, of course, on defense last year, toward the end of the season, he got a lot more playing time at the linebacker position. He's moved right in there at the linebacker position and done a good job on defense as well as offense. You also mentioned the fact that people need to understand that Luke is still a sophomore, but as you also mentioned, freshmen sophomores, unlike in some of the larger schools, do see a lot of playing time for us. And so we just hope that he continues to improve. I saw a big difference in Luke's running from the preseason into the regular game situation. They talk about people being gamers. There's no doubt about that. Luke is a gamer. He's an excellent athlete, and I like the way he runs with authority. He's broken a lot of tackles, and so if he continues to do that, I think we're going to see big things out of him both on offense and defense. Yeah.
Luke, thanks for coming on the show. Good luck Friday night.
Thanks.
We'll be right back and take a look at this past week's clip.
When you're rushed to get to the ball game or just going out of town, call Pizza Shack at Manhattan at 795-5900, and we'll have your order ready when you get there. Choose pizza, subs, sandwiches, or salads. Try our original breadsticks served with our own special sauce and cheese, and you'll understand why they're an absolute favorite. If you're in the mood for spaghetti, lasagna, or chicken dinner, stop in at our St. Mary's shop. The pizza business is our family's livelihood, and we strive to serve a quality product to our customers. Call Pizza Shack today.
Defense picks up right where it left off against Shadyside. Chris Dalrymple on the sack.
Yeah, here Chris does a nice job getting through and throwing the quarterback for a loss, and this is the kind of pressure we needed on him being they were going to pass.
Luke Shoemaker rips one off for a 36-yard pickup.
Here, early in the early going, our offensive line does a nice job. We're in the wing right, strong right formation, and we'll come back to this side with what we call a Redskin special, or better known as a counter gap by the Washington Redskins, and Luke breaks it outside and takes it upfield, gives a little extra effort here, and picks up nice yardage.
Dustin Robinson displays second and third effort here for a nice pickup of 10 yards.
Well, this is one of the things in the first couple games we were hoping that this week we could kind of get Dustin on track, and he's a real big key to the offense. He makes a nice move here in what's second effort, twisting and turning, and refusing to go down. A nice job offensively by Dustin.
Luke Shoemaker, touchdown.
After an early loss, Jeff, I was getting a little bit concerned because it was imperative that we get this ball in the end zone in the early going. And here you see we go off tackle, a power left, and Luke takes it in behind fine blocking of our offensive line.
Ricky Russell shoots in here on the option play and has a CDL.
Now they try to take it to the outside, and we turn them in here. Jeremy Kramer did a nice job, and Ricky reacts real good for the stop.
Luke Shoemaker comes up with the interception.
Yeah, Luke's in the right place at the right time here. They try to throw the ball over the middle, and he steps in front. In fact, we had two defenders there, and he makes the big interception to give us the football back.
Ricky Russell lays it up beautifully to Larry Nelson for a touchdown.
This is a well-executed pass play, Jeff. You see we have a wing to the right, and Ricky will lay the ball out beautifully after faking here to Dustin, and right in the hands, in stride to Larry Nelson, makes a fine catch and takes it on into the end zone for a touchdown.
Luke Shoemaker knifes in for the initial hit, and Jeremy Kramer's covering up there on a CBL.
Well, it looked like we might get the ball here and maybe Paden, but we got good pressure in there on him and stopped him.
Chris Lynn does a nice job returning this punt for 15 yards.
The kicking game is always extremely important, and here the main thing is Chris fielding the ball, tried to get in the wall outside here. We had a couple nice blocks, and he turns it upfield and then leaps over the defender before taking out of bounds. Fine return.
Dustin Robinson picks up 17 yards here and out to a touchdown. Good second and third effort.
We're in a wishbone, what we call Sooner formation, with our split end to the right, and we'll run a belly, and Dustin bounces off the first tackler and cuts it back to the outside, leads another tackler, there's another one, and takes it on in the end zone. Great run on Dustin's part.
Coach Chris Dalrymple says this is a shuttle pass from him to Ricky. What was this?
Well, it's the first time we've ever done this in a game. We work on it every week, and it's something that the Lumpy's been waiting for 4 years. And here he snapped the ball directly to Rick, and he was to pitch it back to the Lumpy who would take it in without any problem, but a little bit too close on the pitch, and the ball was fumbled, but fortunately we got on it for 2 points.
Luke one-hand catches this screen pass and then has a nice run to keep the drive going.
Yeah, this was a key play in this drive, Jeff, and done a nice job, both Ricky and Luke, on this. To see Rick gives ground and dumps the ball. Luke makes a fine catch, keeps his balance, and then takes it back to the outside to pick up the first down.
Chris Lynn on the receiving end for a 15-yard gain.
A nice job here by both Ricky and Chris, and what happened here, Chris will be lined up, as you see, in the slot to the left, and he slides out, and they take our wide out, Larry, and Rick dumps the ball to Chris, and he picks up nice yardage. Good job, good execution, nice job by the offensive line.
Ricky on the option play here, he keeps it, and it's good for a touchdown.
Yeah, we run the option out of our rip formation, which is our slot I, with the slot to the right-hand side, and we go to the slot side, fake inside to Luke, and then he's getting a little break in there, and he took it on in. Kind of hurt his thumb there, as you see him kneeling over, bent it back, but he was okay for the second half.
Joe Kress steps in for the varsity unit and displays a good arm here with Larry Nelson on the receiving end.
After Ricky injured his thumb a little bit at halftime, he was okay, but we thought this was a great opportunity to get Joe in with the upperclassmen and give him some experience, and here he does a nice job, showing nice form, getting the ball out to Larry, and Larry picks up a first down.
Kenny McJilton breaks through for a CBL, loss of 3.
And Kenny continues to play super on defense, showing his quickness, nice swim technique there, and tackles the ball carrier for minus yardage, CBL. Fine job on Kenny's part.
Chris Williams, the fifth different person to score tonight, Coach, 6 yards touchdown.
Again, Luke and Dustin had the burn of the ball carrying earlier, and I don't know whether they're keying on him or not, but Chris does a nice job bouncing that outside behind a couple nice blocks and taking it in for a touchdown.
Here we have the extra point by Joe Cross, soccer style, and it's good.
This is also a good experience for Joe to get some game experience in the varsity competition kicking the ball, and he shows a lot of promise with this soccer style. Didn't get this one up a lot, barely got over, but he's been doing a nice job in practice, and I think there's a future for Joe as a kicker.
Jamie Brewer comes up with a quarterback sack, loss of 8 yards.
A lot of younger players got valuable experience, and here Jamie, kind of a strange position here, he hasn't had a lot of playing time there, does a nice job staying outside and getting a sack. A fine job by young people.
It's time to stop by Woodsfield Savings and Loan. We offer a variety of rates and terms to suit your home mortgage needs. Our low rates make owning your own home affordable, and the Woodsfield Savings and Loan is an equal housing lender. Open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday 9 to 3, Thursday and Saturday 9 to 12, and Friday 9 to 6. We pride ourselves in serving you quickly and efficiently. When it's time for a home mortgage or financial service, call us at Woodsfield Savings and Loan Company.
Coach, this year's Caldwell Redskins, they have a new look. It's not the same old running team of the past years. They have that blazing speed of Josh Perkins. And what do you expect to see out of them this year, Coach?
Well, they're pretty diversified, Jeff, and the fact that you mentioned about a new look, it's something they have done periodically in the past, but we saw them in a preseason scrimmage, and in that scrimmage they went strictly no huddle and no backs, meaning that they just had their quarterback sitting back there in a shotgun formation, signal all the plays in from the sideline, and try to throw the ball exclusively. So that's something that we haven't seen a good bit, and so that's something that we've definitely spent a lot of time having to prepare for. But they also have very capable running backs, and so we can't just key in the fact and rely on the fact that they're going to throw the ball all the time, even though we do have an outstanding quarterback.
Okay, Coach, offensively, personnel-wise, who do we look to see Friday?
Well, as I say, they have one of the featured or premier quarterbacks around in PVC this year, in Roman Lori. In fact, he played probably, I feel, his best football game last year against us, and he was a key to the win, although Josh Perkins did an outstanding job too. But they're relying on his arm. He also has the ability to throw the ball. He's number 19, and he's somebody that we're very, very concerned about. As I mentioned, they also have some outstanding running backs. Someone you need to keep your eye on will be number 34, and that's Daniel Pacus. He's a capable runner, and I think you'll see him run the football maybe a little more than he has in the past. They also have another young man who possesses fine speed and we're very concerned about, and that is number 29, Jason Rucker. He's broke some big ones, and so we can't key on any of those individuals individually. And then you throw in Mike Cartel, who is also a very capable running back. We've got a lot of concerns as far as their backs are concerned. And they also have some outstanding linemen. So we're going to have to shut down both the run and the pass. We've got to get a lot of pressure and contain Lori if we're going to be successful defensively.
Okay, Coach, Caldwell, when they line up defensively, what type of formation do they run defensively, and what's some of their personnel?
Over the years, they've been basically a 40 type of look defensively, but they do some things off of that. They do jump into a 50 front occasionally. They've shown us a 5-3 look in past years. So we've seen most of these things in the teams that we've played thus far this year, so it won't be anything our kids haven't seen, but we just have to block it. They seem to always be very aggressive. Not to single out anybody on defense, I think they've got a lot of people up front that are very capable and aggressive, and they also have a pretty sound defensive secondary. And the one thing I might add is Caldwell is always a very well-coached football team. I have all the respect in the world for Mike Duvall and his staff because they run a first-class program over there. Their program has been outstanding, not just one particular year. They've been in the playoffs a couple of years. And so we have all the respect in the world for them, and I'm sure they'll be well prepared.
Coach, their record, 1-2, that has to be pretty deceiving. They were expected to have a fine ball club this year. Matter of fact, last year's team, I believe, was 9-1 or what have you. And, a lot of people were saying they were a year away, and they knew they were going to be losing Perkins. So, you know, there's some things evidently that went wrong for them, but they've got a lot of quality people, and you know, they've come out on the short end of the stick. But who they played, and can you give us any indication of the teams they've played so far?
Well, this is the scary part, Jeff. They are probably, well, no doubt, the best 1-2 football team that I know of around. And as you mentioned, last year they had a great season. They were 9-1, and they beat us. And they were saying that they felt that they may be a year away, even though they knew that the loss of Josh Perkins would take away a little bit from their running game. But they are the best 1-2 team I've seen. And the fact is they've lost to a couple pretty good football teams. They opened up the season with a convincing win, putting a lot of points on the board and showing a lot of offense and doing a lot of different things against New Cumberstown. They lost the second game of the year to a good Buckeye Trail team, a team that has, I think, definitely come of age. Buckeye Trail shut them out 22-0. And then they also lost to an outstanding football program and a good football team in Belpre last year. Coach Holder, who's been there for 30-plus years, always has a good program. They're always strong, and they lost to Belpre. But don't let anybody be deceived by that record, because I guarantee you'll see a fine football team tomorrow night.
Okay, well, Coach, good luck Friday. We'll see you next week.
It's still hot outside, but fall weather is just around the corner, so is the economy store, with big savings on summer clothes for those 80-degree September and October days, and lots of new fall clothes for those cool autumn nights. The latest in fall suits and dresses on the wall for those who like the executive look. If you prefer a more casual look, the economy store is the place to go for beautiful sweaters. Mix and match with name brand jeans, dress slacks, skirts, or stirrup pants. And they have accessories in the latest fashion colors. Christmas layers, dress code, and personal service are waiting for you at the economy store.